I need villagers badly, and in the last episode, if you remember, we actually built this windmill specifically to put a villager breeder in it. And this thing has low-key been cooking since the last episode, so I have an area marked out over that way where I want to build a library and maybe a small village to house a bunch of these guys. First things first though, I need a mending villager. I've been doing a lot of enchanting while not recording, and I have pretty good enchants for the moment, but I just need to get mending so they don't break. Because I'm going to be honest, I don't have a lot of diamonds right now, and I cannot afford to be wasting diamonds on more tools and armor. So the first thing I'm going to do today is move a villager way over there to that area and try to get mending. I think I'm gonna build him a dirt hut. At least until I build him his permanent home. Welcome to the rest of your life, buddy. You're kinda cooked. You're stuck here forever. I guess now all there is to do is the endless cycle of lectern placing until I get mending. I know I said I wanted mending first, but I don't think I can pass up on breaking 3 for that many emeralds. If that stays locked in, I think I'm gonna lock that one in and keep it, because that is way too good to pass up on. Moment of truth, and he stayed locked in. Okay, yeah, I'm keeping this guy. This guy is, like, I don't think I've ever gotten a cheaper Unbreaking 3 trade off rip. Although that does mean I have to go get another villager now. Alright, we got the next villager over here, so I guess it's time to go back to lectern placing now. The only thing I will take besides mending now is efficiency 4 or 5 and maybe feather falling 4. Oh my god, that is a great trade. Well, usually it's for 14. This guy's a little mad at me because I accidentally hit him. But 14 emeralds for efficiency 4 is crazy. I don't think I can pass that up. Gonna lock that one in and go get one more villager. And hopefully this next one will be the one that gives me mending. Oh my god. There we go. Although I'm not... It's kind of expensive. I think I might try to find one that's a little less. I feel like I am going to regret this. Guys, I'm not even joking. I actually just got mending for 10. I think that's like the cheapest I've ever gotten. I don't know if you can get a cheaper mending book than 10. Now that we have our big 3 of librarian villagers, I think I'm gonna go get some more villagers to make Fletchers so I can trade them sticks. And then I can actually trade for some of these books because I still need to put mending on everything. And there we go. We got all 8 Fletcher villagers that I want for now, which will at least give us an easy source for emeralds. I mean, all I really have to do is cut down a bunch of giant spruce trees, and I can get a bunch of sticks for them. Now that I have the villagers out of the way, the next thing I'm going to do is build a little library for the librarian villagers. Obviously, I'm going to have more than 3 of them in there, but for now, I just want a place to house the 3 of them that I do have. And I already have a building planned out. I just need to collect a lot of materials. And to do that, I need to actually go to the Nether, because I need a lot of mud and a lot of sandstone. And for that, I'm going to need to find a mangrove swamp biome and a desert biome. I'm going to be honest, I do not have the time to search hours on end for either of those 2 biomes. So I'm boo me all you want, I'm using chunk base to find them. But first, I need a little bit more obsidian so I can make a few more portals. Got everything I need for the Nether, so I guess I'm just going to plop my portal down here and see what kind of spawn that I get. Oh. Well, that's just great. I genuinely do not know if I could have got any worse of a spawn. This is awful. Like, what? Why am... A basalt delta out of anything? Come on. I guess I should make this area at least a little bit safer for now. I am gonna need to come back here at some point. To sum up the rest of my nether experience, I only had to bridge a few hundred blocks in 2 different directions to get to the biomes I needed, and I pretty quickly gathered all of the resources that I needed to. The only issue I really ran into was a bastion that I had to tunnel directly through, but the piglin brutes really didn't pay much attention to me, so it was fine. After that, I also had to gather up about 4 stacks of quartz, and then I was finally able to go home. Now we can add a couple more blocks to the chest. Although I still need to smelt down the sandstone. While I wait for all my sandstone to smelt, I think I might re-roll a couple enchants now that I have a couple more levels on my armor. Protection 4, it's only protection 4, but that's not bad. And fire protection on breaking 3. I'm not mad about that, actually. There is also one more really weird block that I forgot to mention. I need to get a couple pieces of this with my Silk Touch axe for, because I need an absolute metric ton of brown mushroom blocks. And there we go. We got all of the brown mushroom blocks we need, and now, hopefully, the sandstone should be done. Mostly. It's pretty close. Now that I have my main bulk materials, I think I'll just speedrun through all the other little things that I need, and then we can finally get started with the first build of the video. So we have pretty much all of the materials we need finally. And I think I'm actually about ready to start building this. I think I'm going to build it right here in this area. Although I might need to expand the land just a little bit, because I'm not sure if that's going to be enough room. But either way, I'm going to get to building that, and I guess you'll either see a time lapse or my POV or both, I don't know. So we are finally finished with the building, and I think it looks pretty cool. I'm not even gonna lie. Let's go get a view from across the river. Oh yeah, I like it. I think that'll make a pretty good home for our librarian villagers. I definitely need to get some other things around here, like maybe some trees, a fountain, just some other little like random details, because this on its own definitely looks a little weird. It looks very out of place at the moment, so I definitely gotta decorate around it. Sort of like with my house, I still need to do that too. This is our next problem, is that we have absolutely no interior. I did not plan out an interior at all. And I think that will probably be pretty simple. I mean, it is a library, so I guess I just get some bookshelves, chiseled bookshelves, slap them down, make the villager area. I'm also planning on having a downstairs, which I need to light up, because I do plan on having quite a few villagers in here. It's been a couple days since the last clip, and I have the library interior sort of mapped out. Gonna have rows of bookshelves go along here, and then in these little pods here are going to be where the villagers stay. Now, I figured I can put them in this little area, I believe, and they should be fine. I don't think I've never tried to put a villager in between trapdoor and a block before, but I don't see why it wouldn't work. But it's going to be pretty basic, and I have a lot of spots, so I might not even really need to mess with the downstairs for a while, which, I mean, I probably should, but I have other priorities. But anyways, let's get started on this. Now that I'm at least done with one of these, I think I'm going to move some of my first villagers in just to make sure they fit in this little area, because I'm actually kind of concerned that they won't for some reason. I've realized that I'm probably going to need to get a villager that just trades me bookshelves for emeralds, because I am almost already out from doing this one section. So I think I'm going to go move another villager over here, which is fun. After that, all I really need to do is get a bunch of wood, and I should be able to finish the interior of this, at least for now, not including the basement. So I actually just realized my mending villager already has bookshelves for sale, so I guess I'm just gonna go for a decent book. Ooh, okay. I think I'm gonna take this trade. It's Silk Touch, which I have seen cheaper books, but I mean, I'm gonna realistically have unlimited emeralds at some point, so I think I will take this. Now that that's dealt with, I think I'm gonna continue to go get some more wood and make more bookshelves and all that, and I will come back when I have all the resources to finish the inside. Half an hour of resource gathering later. It took a while, but I have all the materials that I need now, plus all of the spruce wood that I need. So I'm going to start building that. Hopefully this doesn't take me too long, so I can then get onto the next building, which I think I'm going to put somewhere in this area. Not quite sure where yet, though. So, I'm done decorating this whole thing. I've added a couple more other details in, like these paintings, some shelves, and I think it looks really good, but I've actually had a thought that I could have a couple of copper golems that, like, come up and sort of brush the paintings, because I think it would be really cool to have just an extra detail like that in here. Well, I don't think he's going to move from there anytime soon, and I think that's a cool detail, so I think I'm going to keep it, and I might do one more over on this one. There we go. There's the second one done. And now I just need to put the painting back on. I think it was the cake one. There we go. Now we got two guys just in here. I don't know, maybe they're brushing the painting off, dusting it or something, but I think it's funny. I think it adds a nice extra little detail to it when you walk in. But with that, I think this place is pretty much done. So now I can start preparing for the next building, which is going to be an archery building for the guys that are all the way over here. Because obviously I can't leave them in this little dirt box. I mean, look at them. Look how sad it is in here. I need to figure out where I'm going to put it. Like I said earlier, it's going to be somewhere over here. I've decided I'm going to build it over here near the river because it's going to have a little courtyard. And I think it would be really cool if it overlooks the river. So I'm going to have the front of it facing this way. And then I think I'm going to have a road come down through this area here, and I think that'll work really well. And then I might even be able to put a couple like little either houses or other buildings along the sides of it. I think that'll work well. And luckily for you guys, I already have all of the materials I need. It would probably be easier just to not show this part again because it took me like 2 hours to get all of this stuff. So now all I really need to do is start building, and I'm gonna once again do that in a time lapse, so let's go. I've now finished the archery building, aside from the sign that's supposed to be here, but honestly, I just do not feel like crafting banner letters right now. So the next step with this building is I need to get some villagers in here because I have a whole area right here dedicated to trading with the Fletchers. And then I have the rest of this area to just sort of freely decorate. And I already have this area out here, but in this space here, I want to actually put some custom armor stands in that look sort of like a bow's being held on the wall. I'm gonna do like 6 of them, I think. And I think that'll be a really cool detail back here. I'll probably do that in my off time because that is gonna take me a while to figure out. In the meantime, I am gonna get these villagers moved over here. You know, come to think of it, I'm not actually sure what I'm making their pods out of. I think I am gonna do mangrove planks and some deep slate and just stick with the theme. I think something along the lines of this will work. And then when I have them, I'll put a lantern in there, the fletching table right there, and probably a stair and a slab. Or not a slab, a trapdoor. I think that works. So I'm going to rinse and repeat this for here, and then get to moving the villagers. Now it's time to get the villagers in here, and I can promise that is not going to be the easiest task of the day, especially in a little room like this. I think my plan is to just get all of them in here in the boats, and then try to get them into their pods. All right, villager number 1, will you get into the boat easily, please? No, you will not. There you go. I just got to get the lead and drag him over there. I like to think that was actually pretty easy. Villager number 2. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and finally, last but not least, villager number 8, if he would like to go into the boat. There he goes. Now I just need to get each of them into a pod, and hopefully this should be easy in the minecart. Oh, yeah, he's happy with the workbench. Okay. I'm just going to finish this off camera, but I will be back once I am done dealing with these guys. Well, if you couldn't tell from that time lapse, this was kind of a pain to move them all. They did not want to link at one point. These two, specifically, would not link to their workstations for some reason, and just randomly decided to, but it's fine. They're all in their pods now, and they should be good. I'm gonna leave this interior for a different episode, or maybe just some off time, because I really do not feel like doing another interior right now. Instead, the next thing I want to do is, after I sleep, as I was saying, the next thing I want to do is decorate this area, because it is all very bare. I want to put in a pathway. I want a deep slate road running through this area, serving as like the main pathway. And then I definitely want to build a couple of trees around here. To start with, I'm gonna do some basic like little pine trees, which I am going to design in creative first. Just some pathways and some trees by themselves would definitely make this whole place kind of at least come together a little bit more. It won't look, I don't think it'll look quite right until we have more than just 2 buildings, but I think it would definitely help. So I'll actually take you guys with me this time to go design those trees. So I've got a couple of prototype trees here that I just want to start out with, and I really like this one. I've actually used mangrove trees as my main leaf block here because I think I like the texture and the color a lot more than just normal spruce trees. And then on this side, I sort of did some azalea leaves to have like sort of a like lighter tint to it, I guess. So I'll probably end up rotating this to whichever side the sun goes towards, just so it makes a little more sense, because I think this actually looks really good. Like, I am a big fan of this. I could definitely see me doing a couple different types of these and sort of just pasting them around for my smaller trees. And then I haven't done it to this one yet, but I think I'm going to do some trees like this for the bigger ones so they can sit behind some of the buildings and actually like pop out. But I do need to add the same azalea leaf effect that I did to this. But I think I'm actually quite a fan of these, so I'm gonna go ahead and design a few more trees like these two and probably start figuring out where I'm gonna put my path and pasting some of these in. So I've built a handful of skinny trees and a handful of big trees, and I think these will do for now. I actually really like how these ones look, so I'll probably just paste around a handful of these, and then if I want a couple bigger ones behind or around buildings, I'll probably paste these ones in. So let's get to pasting these into the hardcore world. Actually, before we do that, it would probably be smart to plan out where my pathway is going to go so I can build the trees around it instead of in the way of it. because knowing me, that's probably what I'd end up doing. I'm gonna mostly build this out of deep slate, I think. So I'm gonna need to go get a handful of that. I've come to realize I only have 2 stacks and 19 cobble deep slate, so I'm gonna need to hop down into the mines and go mining, which is okay because I actually need some normal deep slate anyways to texture this thing. But before I do that, I actually need to trade for a silk touch book and put it on a pickaxe. What is this guy doing out here? Excuse me, dude. Oh, the other one's gone too. Oh, there he is. We'll deal with this later. Anyways, I had to clear out this whole area underground, but I did end up getting all of the deep slate that I need. We might as well mine up these 8 diamonds real quick with our fortune pick to see what we get. We almost doubled our diamonds. But before we get to building the path, we actually need to build a bridge over to that side that's going to lead into the path. And I came up with a pretty simple bridge that will work for the moment, but I might end up getting rid of it eventually, but it'll work for now. And the bridge is finished. I think it fits pretty well in, especially once I add a few trees around each side. I think it'll fit in nice. And now I don't need to actually just swim across every time I want to go over there and back, which is convenient. I have a rough shape dug out of what I want the path to look like. It's going to be about as wide as the bridge path starting there is, but I'm going to take it, kind of curve it around here like this, and bring it around and going into this area, and we're going to eventually expand out this way. So I did a little bit of a testing bit of the path, and I think I'm actually okay with this. Like, I like the simplicity of it, and then on the edges here we try to blend it into the environment a little bit by adding some coarse dirt and podzol, and I think that works pretty nicely there. I'm pretty happy with it though, so I think I'm gonna do it and continue to do it all the way down there, and I think this is gonna be our path for this area. Now, I still have to make the smaller paths to the buildings, but the majority of it is done for the moment. I think it actually looks pretty good for the most part, and the resources are easy to get, so it should be pretty easy to extend in the future, but I think it does the job for now. Finally, we're getting onto the trees, and I had to gather a ton of mangrove and azalea leaves. I now have all of the materials I need, and I think I am ready to start building these trees. I'm going to do them primarily along the path for now, and maybe a couple trees behind that, and a couple of trees around this. Honestly, I'm going to put quite a few everywhere, just because I think trees make the terrain look so much nicer. And make the terrain nicer they did. I pretty much just put these wherever I thought was bare, and it really helped pull the area together. But trees aside, I really want to talk about my plans for next episode because it's a big one. I didn't want to just speedrun the game super quick, but I'm sort of at the point where I'd really like an elytra to make building easier, so next episode is going to do with fighting the dragon and going to the end and all that good stuff. I also have a few minor building plans I'd like to take care of as well, but we'll talk about the specifics in the next video. Anyways, we are finally done with the trees, and I think they really help tie this place together a lot more than the open fields did. I love how the trees actually look poking in from behind the buildings too. I think that's really cool. I actually intentionally put one right behind the right side of the library for that effect. I also put some bushes in front to sort of help the blandness, because I think it needed some greenery. But overall, I'm really happy with how this place is coming out so far. I also still need to put that sign in there. But anyways, that is it for today's episode. If you enjoyed the video, consider liking and subscribing as I greatly appreciate it, and I will see you guys later.